Hi, I'm Rachel Zegler, and here we are at the Evita meet and greet. Wonderful, I'm so excited.
Zegler's team shades online critics as root cause behind dismal London ticket sales. The entertainment industry has a habit of lifting someone up, only to watch them plummet, fast, hard, and often publicly. That very spectacle seems to be unfolding with Rachel Zegler, whose recent career arc is beginning to resemble a case study in how public goodwill can evaporate in real time. Her latest challenge? The disastrous box office performance of Evita at London's prestigious Palladium, a stage debut meant to mark her return to form. Instead, it's exposing the painful truth that the public may have already moved on. Zegler's team has wasted no time in attempting to spin the narrative. Their message? That the actress is once again the target of a vitriolic online hate campaign. Trolls, Reddit, TikTok critics. They've all been blamed for the sluggish ticket sales and lack of enthusiasm surrounding Evita. But there's one problem with that argument. It doesn't hold water, because what's happening in London isn't outrage. It's worse. It's indifference. Despite being cast in one of musical theater's most celebrated roles and performing in a world-renowned venue with affordable ticket prices, the theater remains mostly empty. The seating charts are a sea of green, not from ticket profits, but from unclaimed seats. Rows go unfilled night after night, and not even aggressive marketing or star power can patch the growing hole in public interest. This isn't about a boycott. It's about disconnection. People aren't angry. They just don't care anymore. This sharp drop-off in audience engagement didn't happen overnight. It's the result of a pattern, one that's been forming ever since Zegler made headlines during the Snow White press tour, a tour that backfired so spectacularly it left Disney reeling. Meant to be a progressive reimagining of a classic, Snow White instead became a lightning rod of controversy, thanks in large part to Zegler's dismissive attitude toward the original film. She called the story outdated, the prince a stalker, and proudly announced that her version would right the so-called wrongs of the past. Rather than respecting the legacy of a nearly 90-year-old cinematic treasure, Zegler positioned herself above it. The tone wasn't refreshing, it was condescending. And audiences, particularly those with deep affection for Disney's golden era, felt alienated. Her Snow White wasn't for them, she made that clear, so they stayed away. The fallout from that moment lingered. Where some actors would have walked back the comments, clarified their statements, or leaned into humility, Zegler doubled down. She leaned into the idea that criticism was persecution, and that any pushback was rooted in misogyny or resistance to progress. But that wasn't the full picture. The reality was simpler. People were tired of being talked down to by the face of the very film they were expected to support. And now that sentiment is bleeding into everything she does. Evita was supposed to be the reset, an opportunity to shift the conversation away from film and toward live performance, where Zegler's undeniable vocal talent could shine. But talent alone wasn't enough to bring audiences to the theater. And once again, it's the public that's being blamed. Social media backlash has become a convenient scapegoat. Zegler's team paints her as a misunderstood voice of a new generation, one who's constantly under siege from toxic fanboys and bitter traditionalists. But if that were the case, why is the silence around Evita so loud? Where are the glowing interviews from castmates? The rehearsal footage? The behind-the-scenes bonding that typically accompanies theater launches? The answer: nowhere. The co-stars are quiet. The producers are tight-lipped. And the theater community, usually effusive when rallying behind a misunderstood talent, is staying unusually cautious. The absence is revealing. Even the press has taken a noticeable step back. Gone are the magazine spreads that once hailed Zegler as Hollywood's next big thing. In their place are subdued profiles describing her as divisive, polarizing, and controversial. The word around industry circles is less charitable, uninsurable. In Hollywood, that's a death knell. The deeper concern isn't just ticket sales. It's Zegler's complete lack of self-awareness. Her social media remains active, filled with vague quotes and cryptic selfies, seemingly divorced from the reality of her situation. Rather than recalibrating her message or showing growth, she continues to posture, carrying the same defiant energy that ignited her downfall in the first place. And in the entertainment world, that posture, when not backed by success, can turn an asset into a liability. There's also the issue of backstage relationships. According to insiders, members of the Evita crew are less than thrilled with the situation. Costume designers, technicians, and assistants reportedly feel overlooked and frustrated. Their view? They show up, do the work, and expect the lead to do the same, without drama. And while none of them speak on the record, the theater community is small. Reputation travels fast, and right now, Zegler's isn't helping her. It's even more glaring when compared to her peers. Young stars like Florence Pugh, Zendaya, and Simone Ashley have modernized beloved roles while remaining respectful, collaborative, and deeply connected to their audiences. They've balanced relevance with reverence, authenticity with professionalism. Zegler, meanwhile, has positioned herself as an accidental antagonist to the very people she's trying to reach. And what is her team's response? Blame the critics. Blame the algorithm. Blame anyone but the lead. But Twitter didn't cause empty seats at the Palladium. TikTok didn't scare away London theatergoers. The issue isn't a mob, it's momentum, or lack thereof. Audiences will forgive controversy. They'll even forgive arrogance if the work delivers. But what they won't do is support someone who repeatedly dismisses them. What was once boldness now reads as entitlement. What once looked like confidence now feels like disregard. The sad part? Rachel Zegler can still sing. She can still perform. Her voice is powerful, her presence strong. But none of that matters when the trust is gone. And right now, she's burning goodwill faster than her team can rebuild it. Evita should have been her revival. A moment to let the performance speak louder than the headlines. Instead, it's become another headline. Another reminder that reputation, once soured, is hard to reclaim. And here lies the quiet tragedy. Zegler isn't being canceled. She's being forgotten. Theater lovers aren't protesting. They're just opting out. Her co-stars aren't attacking. They're just saying nothing. Studios aren't suing. They're just not calling. That's how careers quietly end in Hollywood. Not with drama, but with distance. So what do you think? Has Rachel Zegler's talent been drowned out by her own PR missteps? Is she being unfairly targeted, or is this a cautionary tale in the age of digital overexposure? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you've seen this pattern before, subscribe for more deep dives into the drama Hollywood tries to hide, and hit the bell so you don't miss what comes next. Because in the entertainment world, perception is reality, and right now, Zegler's is fading into silence.